Tuesday, June 22nd. And I saw something online the other day, that would be yesterday, about movie theaters opening up again. And it talked about the wearing of masks and vaccinations. And according to what I read, if you are a fully vaccinated person, you did not have to wear a mask in the movie theater. However, if you are not fully vaccinated, you are expected to wear a mask in the movie theater, except when choosing to eat a bag of popcorn or some other snack, or maybe have a drink from the concession counter. Now, all of this is fine, except we have left it up to the people themselves to decide how they're going to act. There are no such rules for checking the truth for the people who are attending the movie. So I would ask you, how many of you actually think that people are going to be 100% honest? Notice I say 100%, because in reality, I would expect that there are some who don't want to get vaccinated, and they are the anti-vaxxers. And they may go to the movie theater. They will behave themselves. They will sit and watch the movie, but they won't wear a mask. And they probably won't be sitting 6 feet away from somebody. And as far as I know, the movie theaters have not said anything about creating a separate section for those who have not been vaccinated. If you want to go to a baseball game or another sporting event where they have opened up the stadium to full-size seating, they have created sections for people who don't want to be vaccinated. You sit in the non-vaccinated section, and you sit 6 feet apart, which is probably 2 or 3 seats away from your neighbor. And that's what should be done in the movie theater. Do you remember when you were a child? And I don't know how many of you out there are old enough to remember this, but I assume most of my audience is old enough to remember when they were a child. And you went to the movie theater, there was a children's section, and there was a smoking section in the movie theater. And all of those things have disappeared over the years. And of course, they don't allow any smoking in the theater anymore. So why? Why, if these major chains that have decided to open up the theaters, why have they not reverted to this practice that we used to have years ago of having a seating section for different types of people? In this case, a seating section for the vaccinated, and a seating section for the unvaccinated. And it can be done simply. Unvaccinated people sit in the balcony, or unvaccinated people sit in the back rows, or whatever it is. But to open the theaters up indiscriminately, trusting human nature, trusting that everybody will be honest, is a major mistake. Because everybody in this country is not necessarily healthy. We have many truly vulnerable people out there. People who have major health issues, and then people who have minor health issues. And vulnerability, in many cases, is a state of mind. So while the 2 people might have the very same condition, one of them may feel much differently about associating with those who are not vaccinated. And another person might take a very hard stance and probably doesn't want to have anything to do with people who are not vaccinated. And we see that in many situations. There are organizations that are trying to sort this out. And it goes beyond the movie theaters. Many people belong to organizations that meet periodically. And there are many in the organization that say it's okay if you are not vaccinated, you can come to the meeting. And they look upon those in their organization who say, we don't want that. We want people who are fully vaccinated. And when those people are asked why, they may or may not want to tell the story. They may be reluctant to tell everybody in the organization about their vulnerability. So I think it's a big mistake to just open up the theaters or open anything up indiscriminately without some set of rules to protect those who may truly be vulnerable or who just believe they are vulnerable. After all, this has been a tough time for all of us. We have been cooped up for 17 or 18 months now, and we would like to spread our wings and go out and do things that we used to do. But many of the places that we used to go to still haven't truly opened up. So when I look at this, I say this is a difficult situation. Those people who want to open up and want to fill the theaters or want to have people take a participatory role in their organization, they have to consider all the possibilities. And they can't indiscriminately take a chance on the honesty of the population. Now, maybe in a small organization where everybody has worked together for a while, you can trust that those people will be honest. But even if they're honest, if they're unvaccinated, the vulnerable in that group will probably still feel that those people don't belong in the same room with them. It's a very difficult situation, and it may cause many organizations to dissolve or take another year off or something. And I think the movie theaters and probably the playhouses around the country are setting a bad example. Not that they're opening. I have no problem with them opening. I want them to open like the stadiums opened. Admit people who are willing to admit that they haven't been vaccinated and are willing to sit in a section for others like them, as opposed to taking a chance and sitting in the audience somewhere where there may be a truly vulnerable person sitting nearby. So I think we have a ways to go before we're done with the results of this pandemic. And from what I see, it may take a while, because it's my understanding that new strains are showing up in some states around this country. And certainly if there are movie theaters in those states that are going to let people sit together, vaccinated and unvaccinated, then we may have another outbreak that we don't want to deal with. So I leave you with that thought today. I leave you with thinking about how human nature is and how many people in the same situation react differently. And that's why we call it human nature. So having said all of that, I will leave you thinking about it, and I will see you in the morning. Bye.